welcome back, Steve's Retirement Corner. Your first year of retirement is the most crucial. I believe anyways. I'm banking on it anyways. How about that? I hope so. You know, I haven't been retired a year yet. I'm 7 months in, I guess. Well, actually, I guess I'm starting my 8th. I retired February 1st. But I didn't work in January, but just a couple of days. So it gave me a running start when I got to retirement. You know, I felt like I was already retired for a whole month time it got here. But so I don't know. Hey man, next year I might think it'd be the most crucial. Or 5 years from now, I think, well, this is, I've been retired a few years. This is the most crucial. This tell me the real deal or whatever. But I'm kind of a big believer in all them old sayings. Like pennies make dollars. Spend less than you make. Stitching time saves 9. Junk like that. There's a little bit of truth to all those, and I've found, and that's why I believe in them, and I try to apply them to about every situation I'm in. But I don't know if any of y'all ever played ball in school. I did. I enjoyed it, but I had a coach that he was our gym coach. He was the same one that told us it didn't matter how far we ran; it was how we ran when we did go run. But before the game, every time before a game, you'd have that little speech up in there, and he'd say, you go down that field, and he says, you knock that ball right square in the tee. Knock him on his backside. Let him know you're going to be there all game. His point was that you start on a good note, it'll follow through the rest of the game. It'll give you confidence. It'll hype you up. You'll be ready to rock and roll in. And that was all well and good. That's a good thing to tell your players. The problem is the other coach was telling his players the exact same thing. And I'll tell you, Doc, when you get the snot knocked out of you and put on your backside in the first few seconds of a ball game, it'll make you think. You'll second guess your choice of playing ball. That's for darn sure. But and that's the way I look at retirement, the same way. Starting off on a good foot. You think about it, everything is that way. You start off on a good foot, you feel better about yourself, you got a little bit more confidence, and all that. And that's the way I approach retirement. That explains a lot of how we've spent the first year, not doing nothing fancy, nothing extra that we don't normally do. Because I think my overriding 2 main concerns of retirement was not cutting back on our lifestyle any, not having to, and if something was to happen to me, the baby would be okay. So we tried to live this first year pretty much like we always have, without anything special going on. Now you got your emergencies that pop up. Hey, that stuff happens all the time. But we didn't add anything special major the first year. And I think it has given me the confidence going forward that, hey, if anything was to go wrong, we should be fine going forward. It's a confidence building year. It's a seeking year. I'm seeking myself. After you work for 30, 40 years hustling, taking care of other people and everything, you kind of lose an idea of who you are and what really makes you tick. I did. You get busy. Life gets busy when you're working. When you retire, it slows down a little bit, and you have more time to consider yourself a little bit. That's all I really wanted, was just a little slower pace. And now that I'm not concerned about a full-time job, I got it. And you see life through a different set of eyes. You know, and if you think about it, it's retirement's a long-term game, just like a ball game. Just because you get the snot knocked out of you in the first few seconds of a game, that don't mean it ain't gonna turn around for you the rest of the game. You go back to your planning, your training, your practice, and it takes over. That's why you see fourth quarter comebacks or people getting knocked out in the late rounds of boxing matches when they had it won and stuff. That training and planning and practice paid off. It should in retirement. I don't know. It makes sense to me, and that's a lot of the reason I was happy Tuesday for the cowbell ringing. Quite a few of them people had told me what they were looking forward to in retirement, and it was they had got the idea about it being a long-term game. It and setting the pace that first year. From stuff that they've told me. Hey, one of them was going to take a family trip somewhere with the kids and stuff, and some of them take a cruise. Some of them had a part-time knock-around job they were going to do, stuff like that. And I think it makes the transition a lot easier, and it builds confidence for later on. If you think about it, a lot of people, if you're young, if you're 55, I mean, if you live to 85, you spent 30 years in retirement. I mean, a lot of people don't live that long, and you're going to live that long in retirement. That's a long time. It pays to stay flexible and to keep learning the whole time you're in retirement. I think those are two crucial components of being retired and having a successful retirement. And this year I'm learning a lot of that. And I'm learning that, hey, everything's going to be okay. I'm hoping. We'll see. But yeah, I think it's going to be important. The first year, I think it's going to be a crucial year for your retirement. It's another one of them old sayings. You're trying to avoid that sophomore slump. It's a long-term game, and you don't want to. You don't want to make all your home runs in the first inning. That's why I got so much junk to do around here, and I've always heard people say that, hey man, how long can you tinker around the house? You knock out all your little jobs out the first 6 months, then what do you do? Well, I ain't busting my butt doing nothing, I can tell you that. I get a spare moment. If I feel like doing something, I'll come out and knock something out. But between running the road, because me and the baby just went, we run over to the dollar store and get gas, stuff like that this morning. We did a little morning running after I didn't do my walk today. I'll probably do it here in a little bit because it was raining so bad. But instead of doing that we went running with her. It's so I mean, my time is booked for the month. If I get a spare moment, feel like I want to do something, I'll come out and knock something out. I ain't pushing to get everything done this first year. I'm pacing myself. Just like when you buy a house, Yeah, you don't have to get in a rush to redecorate everything that first couple of months. Hopefully you're going to be there for a long time. And that's what I'm banking on. Hopefully I'll be here a few years, be in retirement a few years anyways. So, I'm not shooting on all my bullets in the first time I get a chance to pull the trigger, let's say. And that's the way I think it ought to be looked at. A long-term game. First year being important is setting the stage and gaining confidence and relying on your plan and stuff. I mean, you got some people retired just before the daggone pandemic. I mean, and you talk about being flexible and learning. Them people had to learn that, they had to adjust. They had to go on the fly. It's the same for people that's been forced out. I mean, if you're forced out and thrown out into the jungle like that, it's got to be rough. I'm fortunate that I had last year to plan, and I got to leave on my terms. And I couldn't be happier right now. Honestly, it's better than I could have imagined. But I don't know. Well, y'all take care. Y'all enjoy your weekend the best you can, and we'll talk to y'all later.